just start by talking a little bit about why we might actually need an Edge initiative. So I want to start by asking a question. So, Amazon, where's their main profit source? You're right, it's Amazon Web Services. About 75% of their profits come from web services. Now, web services was born when they realized that they needed to have their own cloud computing. They needed to have all these algorithms to actually run their processes. And one day they turned around and said, hey, we're actually pretty good at this. Maybe someone else might want to actually use some of our services as well. And that turned into an enormous business for them. And so it was a huge success. They were able to leverage what they were already really great at to turn into something really interesting. But this also means that they can undercut every other retailer in the world. So I talked to my friends who are running enormous retail companies and saying, what are you doing? How is it that you don't have edge projects? How is it that you're not diversifying your profit centers? Because Amazon will kill you every time. And every other industry will soon be like this. If you don't actually have profits from other areas, you will find that there will be other companies who will come in and undercut you. So how do you actually go and build a really fabulous Edge initiative? And you'll be doing that with your case study clients this afternoon. So remember, again, focus on that 10x, where you can actually find it. And remember also really focusing in on that customer pain point and something that they're actually willing to pay for. But we also find that this is such an obvious point, the customer differentiation or the competitive edge, but it often falls out of the initiatives when people are really thinking about them. So people sort of reinvent something that's already out there. So really focus in on that when you're thinking about these new initiatives. And again, building on whatever leverage you have. So is it a talent? Is it a resource? Is it an asset that you already have? We talked this morning about TD Ameritrade identifying that they had this amazing branch network. How could they build upon that? Amazon Web Services building upon that. So as you think about those case studies, and we're thinking in our teams about what they're already good at, what can you leverage there? And then you have to have those ExO attributes, so those things that make the company grow really fast, at the heart of the initiative. It's really easy to just kind of stick them on at the edge and then hope they'll work. But what you want to do is actually make them a very fundamental platform for your initiative. So I love what Amazon also does with their flywheel concept. So part of what they did was actually get their customers and suppliers to do most of the work for them. They created this self-reinforcing marketplace. And an example of that is that it used to be that if you were a retailer and you had another product coming onto your system, you would need to do a whole lot of research. Do I trust this? Do I trust the supplier? Does it work? Now they actually get their customers to do this through the reviews. And so they can scale up very, very quickly. It costs them almost nothing to put a new product onto their service. And so that self-reinforcing marketplace is really spinning for them. And the ExO attributes, that's actually what they really create. So if you're just doing the piecemeal kind of version of the ExO attributes, you might get a bit of a lift, but you might not get that 10% growth or that hugely, many thousand-fold growth that you're actually seeing with the Googles and the Amazons of the world.
If you were to start your company from scratch now, what would you do different?
I would like to create a asset-less, more technology-driven, scalable model. Rather than capital incentive or maybe the manpower incentive model.
digital driven. One other question, what kind of organizational model would you embrace for that new company? Not for your own, but for your new, if you were to start up again.
Started a business about 11 years ago and got a private equity raise of about $20 million so that we could do 3 or 4 business clubs fast. And I think in retrospect, it might have been better to do just one and perfect it and then roll it out without raising so much capital.
Hi, we're operating a university in Istanbul. So it's regulatory-wise, it's not possible to recreate it. But if I were, then I would create a network organization in which students are just learners and faculty also. They were part of, independent networks like agents, and then interact with each other online or physically as well. And all the stakeholders would take part in the development of everything, including business world as well.
So glad that you said that, because that was exactly how the Singularity University, it's called university, is not a university like that. Because that is exactly the problem why we are not adaptable to the fast changing world. So they solved that problem by not being part of the regulations. And what in the I'm the chapter lead here in Dubai, and what the Singularity University does is very short iterations. If there is something new in the market, and what kind of technology, it is immediately adapted, immediately implemented in the new curriculum. And then, in addition to that, the experts who developed that are the faculty members, are the people who are teaching. And that keeps the thing going and always on top of the wave.